Fae Farm is a farm sim RPG where you can craft, explore, decorate, and use spells in the enchanted island of Azoria. It was released last September 2023 on Steam and the Nintendo Switch and is set to release on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and Windows Store this October 22. This game can be played in single-player mode or you can play online with up to 4 people in one world. It supports cross-platform multiplayer, so you can play with people on consoles and on PC. It currently supports these languages. And here are the spec requirements for PC. The game currently has 2 DLCs which adds 2 new storylines and more content, but the main focus for this video will be the base game. My name is Myrabels and this video will help you decide if Fae Farm is a game for you. All the footage in this video are from the game trailer or from my own gameplay, but I limited this to the first farm and the first 2 seasons in the game so you can explore more yourself. However, there will be some minor spoilers in this video, so keep that in mind. I put timestamps for easy access. The game starts as you, the player, gets washed up in Azoria, a land ravaged by natural disasters, and it's your job to solve these issues. I am playing some of the in-game background music in this video. From what I've observed, the music never completely stops. There are moments when it takes on a slightly more eerie tone, but it never fades away entirely. The music also changes throughout the day based on your location, time, and even the season. In addition to the music, you'll hear ambient sounds such as footsteps, animals, rain, and other environmental noises. The graphics is really cute and definitely gives off a whimsical fairycore aesthetic. One thing to note is that there is no character sprite, so the NPCs will just look something like this if you talk to them. For the settings, you have a separate volume control for music, character voice, and the sound effects. You can enable or disable controller rumbles and screen shake. There are some colorblind options and you can rebind your controls. You can also change the HUD positioning and there are options for doubling the day length and for simple fishing, which I will talk about more later. For the character creation, there are 4 body types to choose from and the skin color has a wide range. There are several options for the eyes and you can customize your character to have a different color for each eye. There's not a lot of options for mouth and for the hair in my opinion. There are also options for facial hair and some cute face details like the one that my character has on the cheek over here. You can choose your preferred pronouns and make your voice different or make your character silent. Don't worry because you can change your character's appearance at any time. You just have to get an item called a customization mirror, which you should be able to craft within the first 2 weeks in the game. This lets you edit everything from body shape to your voice. There are also different outfits which you will have to buy or unlock as you progress in the game. One thing that I like about this is you can customize the colors very well. Each item is separated by regions and you can change the color of specific regions and do various combinations. At first, you will only be able to choose from these colors, but more color palettes will be available later on. Take note that for headgears, your hairstyle will also change, which is a real bummer. Your wings, which you will unlock pretty early in the game, can also be changed to other styles and color. Customization and decoration is a pretty big aspect in this game. This house does not look all that great right now, and that's because I wanted to place as much decorations as I can without having a lot of options and materials yet. Adding specific types of decoration actually rewards you with increased maximum health, energy, and mana, so I wanted to get those buffs right away. It's really easy and fun to decorate in this game. The real challenge is collecting the items and recipes needed for the decorations, but I think that's one of the core gameplay mechanic here. Aside from the main story quest, majority of your effort and time will be put towards getting additional decorations, cosmetics, and just making your farms, houses, and character look nice. And yes, you heard that right. You can have multiple farms and houses. In the base game, you can have up to 4 farms and houses. So if you are playing in multiplayer, each player can eventually have their own space to decorate. And if you're playing in single player, then you get to experiment with different themes and functions for each farm that you unlock. There is a build mode that you can activate whenever you're decorating, and it stops the in-game time. From here, you can go to the construction menu and add decorations as long as you have the needed items for it. You can move and rotate items as you want. Then, you can reclaim an item to get all the materials you used to construct that item back. Furthermore, you can change the colors of the items per region as well, and it gives an additional incentive to unlock all those color palettes. Next, let's look at your skills. The game automatically gives you a buff whenever you level up a skill. For example, leveling up your mining skill will increase your mining power and efficiency. I'm going to give you an overview for each of the skills here. For farming, you can plant crops, flowers, and saplings. There will only be 3 types of crops available for purchase at the start: turnips, cauliflowers, and beans. All of this can be planted in any season, but when the season ends, the crops actually wilt, and you'd have to plant new ones. To unlock seasonal crops, you need to use a fertilizer. Magic Crop Swap Fertilizer gives a chance to turn your crops into seasonal or Fae variety. For example, I placed that fertilizer on my beans and some of it turned into eggplants. You can then turn the eggplant harvest into seeds in order to get more. There are also other types of fertilizers available that can increase crop yield or hasten its growth. For the flowers, you start with 3 basic ones: the yellow tulip, red rose, and white lily. Eventually, you can buy more seeds and breed more colors. There are a total of 6 flowers in the game with 12 colors each to unlock, and it's really fun to try and get all variations. For the saplings, you start with 4 types. This can be propagated using hives to get other types. There are a total of 10 fruit trees that you can get. Next is ranching. In order to buy animals, you first have to unlock the specific building for it, which comes with the farms that you unlock. Buying an animal is a bit tedious for me. You have to go to the vendor, buy 1 animal, then go back home to register that animal. You cannot buy multiple animals at once, so there's a lot of back and forth involved, which made me not want to deal with the animals until later. I guess you're seeing a pattern already, but you can also breed the animals here to unlock more color variations. Another perk of breeding animals is that there is a chance to get animals that will give more products per day. However, you do need to take the animal to the vendor for breeding, and that's another trip there. The slots for each animal building is limited. You cannot upgrade this and you can't add more buildings. So you will only be able to have 6 animals per building, which is kinda sad. If you want to breed more, you need to sell an animal to make space. You can, however, upgrade the feeding trough that they have. Normally, you will only be able to leave 1 piece of feed, which means you have to do this every day. But upgrading this lets you leave more feed in it. In order to keep animals happy, you need to pet them every day, give them food, and let them out for some fresh air if it's not raining. Some animals will also require brushing. The animals will run around your farm freely, and they will sometimes be in the way when you are tending to your farm. But you can craft a lure to keep them in one general location. In order to fish, aim, then throw the lure in front of the fish and jiggle it until the fish looks at your bait and bites. Once it bites, hold A to reel in the fish while the line is white. Then, stop if the fish looks away and the line goes red. You'd have to repeat this until you catch the fish. There is a simple fishing option from the settings, but I've noticed that this does not change the difficulty level for fishing. It simply changes the controls. Normally, you'd have to hold the button to reel in, but switching to simple fishing changes this to a toggle mode. To catch bugs and insects, simply sneak up on a critter with a net and then time your swing for when it is directly in front of you. There are different types of creatures that can be caught in different locations, time, and season. And there are glowing creatures to mark the rare ones. Catching some of these can be difficult, but you can make it easier by upgrading your bug net and your fishing rod, or by using some buffs from potions or food. Speaking of that, you can buy food, beverage, or potions from shops, but you can also make it on your own. There's a lot of different processing machines for this, and making one item could have multiple steps involved. Each of these have different effects like increasing your skill buffs, restoring health or energy, withstanding weather effects, or even making a rain cloud follow you to easily water your crops. There's a lot of effects to explore and utilize, so it's worth it to try and make the various recipes. Then, of course, there's magic. You will unlock different spells as you progress the main storyline, and the spells can be used to help you out on your farm, to fight enemies, or to unlock other sections of the world. Mining is another huge part of this game. In order to progress the main storyline, you will have to do a lot of mining. This will also give you ores which can be used to upgrade your tools, and you can get gems that are used for a lot of crafting recipes. You can explore 3 mines with 25 levels each. As you go down the levels, you'll get better loot, but also encounter more difficult enemies. If you'd rather not fight any enemies, there is a potion that you can buy to turn you invisible, so you can completely ignore combat. The enemies will have different attack patterns, but it's not too difficult to defeat one as long as they don't swarm you all at once. You can craft mine seals to unlock fast travel, but you have to craft and place the seals one by one. You have to do this in order from level 1 upwards, which means that you can't just craft and activate the seal for level 5 without activating the seals for levels 1 to 4 first. Foraging and logging are pretty much self-explanatory. Do note that some forageables change per season, and the trees cut outside of your farm will regenerate after a few days. The trees in your farm won't regenerate, but you can buy saplings to plant there. Next, let's look at your tools. There are only a few slots here. One is for your magical staff, then your fishing rod, and then your bug net. All the other tools are combined in one slot. For that one, the game will automatically choose which type of tool you need for a particular action. For example, the game auto-equips my axe to chop down this tree. Then it auto-equips my pickaxe to mine this rock. You can upgrade your tools here several times, and each upgrade will make actions easier, and it will also give you more resources per hit. You can only sell a limited amount of items per day in Fae Farm. At first, there will only be 4 tables available with 8 slots each. The items will not stack, so you can only sell a maximum of 32 items per day. Later on, you will be able to add even more stalls, but those will also have a limited amount of slots. Because of this, you will want to sell items with a high value per piece. There are a lot of processing machines in the game that you can use to increase the price of your base products to help with this. You will earn profit from all the items you sold at the end of each day. There are different types of quests that you can do in-game. You have the main story quest and the side quests. Then, there are job quests for each skill, which will let you explore most of what you can do in the game. Furthermore, there are romance and friendship quests for the NPCs. These ones have to be finished within the same day once you get it though. These types of quests randomly appear and will be visible on top of villagers. Each character seems to have a pool of dialogue, and as you talk to them, the game will randomly choose from that pool, so it will just rotate through those choices repeatedly. There are also some instances where the character will say a line that makes it seem like it's your first time meeting them, or the other way around. So obviously, relationship building is not a strong aspect for this game. You can date and marry someone in the game though. There are only 6 romanceable characters in the base game, with the Skies of Azoria DLC adding 3 more. To increase your relationship with an NPC, you must talk to them, give them gifts, and complete romance quests for them. You can see which gift each character desires if you talk to them, but this changes per day. Eventually, you can go on a date with them, which just consists of you sitting beside the character and having a short one-sided conversation with them. Once you get married, you cannot get a divorce and you won't have any kids. You cannot marry other players when playing multiplayer. Now let's go to the frequently asked questions and talk more about the quality of life available in this game. The controls for Fae Farm is really smooth and fun. You can jump and explore the world freely. I had a great time climbing up cliffs, diving into the water, and just going out of the path to see how far I could go. The game rewards exploring like this with new recipes. There are also some mushrooms that you can use for a jump boost, which is really satisfying to see and use. Another thing I like is when you are planting seeds. You just have to hold the button, then move your character or mouse to multiple tiles. You don't have to click one by one. Same with harvesting, watering, chopping down trees, mining, and decorating. The only thing I noticed that you need to spam click is harvesting the berries for some reason. Next, let's talk about inventory management. For your backpack, there is no auto-sort option. If you want to move or rearrange your items, you have to individually click on it, then choose if you want to consume, move, or drop it. I do think that this is a little tedious in terms of inventory management, especially if your items are scattered and you want to arrange your inventory fast. The game does remind you if you need to eat something because you ran out of energy or mana, and there's a quick button that you can use to automatically eat something appropriate from your inventory. Then, you have a storage shed which has almost unlimited supply. I say almost because it seems like a few players have hit the limit at some point, so the devs had to expand the storage even more. Normally, you should not be able to fill this up though. While transferring items from your backpack to this storage, there is a button to auto-stack similar items. There's also one to just transfer the whole stack. Otherwise, you will have to click on an item individually and choose how many you would like to transfer. This storage can be accessed from all of your farms and houses. You can filter the items so you don't get overwhelmed with the amount that it shows, and you can also sort it alphabetically or per type. Crafting and cooking using processing machines will automatically get items from your inventory. However, when interacting with merchants, like when you're upgrading your house, you have to bring the necessary items to their shop. On a normal day length, the game lasts for around 18 to 20 minutes, but there is an option to double the day length. If you do this, one day will last from 36 to 40 minutes, which can make the game more relaxing. Time is paused when you are decorating and when you are in your inventory. However, time will not pause if you are using your processing machines, so don't stay idle for too long when you are cooking or crafting. You can save this game at any time from the menu, which is really nice. It also autosaves whenever you sleep. However, you cannot save during the first day, so make sure to allocate ample time when starting out for the first time. You can also skip this tutorial day and go straight to day 2. There are 4 seasons in the game with 28 days each. The weather has an effect on your character. There are certain temperatures that are too hot or too cold for your character, and it will have a negative effect. You can drink beverages or potions in order to withstand the heat or the cold. There are 5 festivals per year, and there are quests that you can do in the days leading up to the actual day of the festival, which supposedly helps in the preparation for that festival. During the festival itself, there is no cutscene, no minigame, and even no reminder that the festival is happening. It is mostly aesthetic, so you just get to see the town decorated, plus it's a chance to buy limited time items like outfits, decor, and color palettes. On the base game, you will only have one map that is divided into different locations. If you click on a location, you will be able to see all the characters in there, and you can choose to track a person. You can also just track a location if you need to. Once you start tracking someone, there will be an icon that appears on the screen like this, which will point you to the right direction. Fast travel will eventually be unlocked on certain locations to make traveling faster. I do think that this game can be played for a long time. The main story can be finished in less than a year in the game, but there's a lot of work to do if you like decorating, or if you are a completionist who wants to own every color and variation of items in the game. After playing for around 30 hours, I personally would not want to restart the game in single player because the main story is quite linear, so I'd rather just continue my save, aim to get all the flower and animal variations, and decorate my farms in different ways. It might be fun to restart the game in multiplayer for a different experience though. I haven't really encountered any game-breaking bugs, but I did encounter an annoying one where if you use the ability on your iron shovel or pickaxe, it will have this square plot of land on the floor, and it is really jarring and annoying. From the Fae Farm Discord server, I can see the first feedback about this issue around July, and it's only going to be patched on version 3.2, which is coming out at the same time as the game comes out on PlayStation and Xbox. So it took around 3 months to fix a visual bug that players encounter very often, so do keep this in mind and feel free to try out the demo on Steam first to see how everything runs on your PC. You can buy the base game for around $40 or you can buy the deluxe edition for around $60. The deluxe edition includes the base game, the game soundtrack, and the 2 DLCs. If you are picking up this game, then check out this next video for my 28 tips and tricks for Fae Farm beginners.